Hey guys, Zach Martin here with S.O.B Motorsports. I want to talk to you a little bit today about what we are calling basically our Stage 1 bolt-on package for the 2017 to 2018 Z01. Basically this package is more designed for the daily driver, road track, road course, autocross type driving. And the reason why I say that is because with our tuning and the way we have it set up, it's going to pull timing based on heat temperatures due to the cooling system on the factory heat exchanger. So we can inflate numbers here. We can talk about how the car makes 700 horsepower, etc. Which on a cold pool with ice in the reservoir, it made 697 to the tire. Now after one pull, your ice is gone, the temperatures are back up, and it's not going to consistently do that. So there's no sense in inflating numbers. There's no sense in blowing things out of proportion. The car does make 697 at peak horsepower, but with the tuning, the way we have it set up for continuous driving, the heat temperatures, cooling timing and everything else based on that, the car makes 657 to the tire on reduced power based on heat temperatures being 150 plus on the post blower temperatures. We have torque power at 680 at 3,200 RPMs. So this car is going to be an absolute animal, pulling out of the hole, out of the corners, stuff like that. This package will work very well on the guys that are wanting to drag race. We offer an inner chiller package. Basically what that does is that's going to allow the temperatures to be brought down in between passes, and you will be able to see that 700 to 720 horsepower power level pass after pass on a drag racing application. But you're not going to see that kind of power on a road course application, just because there's not time there for that inner chiller to cool down the blower. There's not time to put ice in between each lap on a road course application. So let's get started. Talk a little bit today about this 2018 Z01 we did. We'll go over a few little details and kind of give you a little show around of what we got going on. Hey guys, Zach Martin here with S.O.B Motorsports. We're here with Marty's beautiful 2007 Z06 Corvette. We just wrapped up. This thing was basically, it's kind of like our Stage 4, Stage 5 build. We covered everything from engine modifications all the way down to the exterior. So we're going to kind of walk over everything we did through on the exterior side of things first, and we'll kind of break it down and talk about what we did internally. Alright, so with our added performance gains, we needed a clutch that could handle all the power. So we chose, with all our cars, to use Monster Racing clutches. This gives it for a super smooth pedal feel. This car has an LT1 twin disc clutch rated for 800 horsepower. This car makes right around 600 to the tire. Along with the clutch, we decided to upgrade to a Henson short throw shifter. So this makes our gearbox selection very, very short. So you can see first gear to second gear, it's a very, very short throw. Makes for a nice tight window, smooth engagement, and no missed gears. Hey guys, how's it going? This is Zach Martin here at S.O.B Motorsports again. We want to talk to you a little bit today about our good buddy Mike's car we've been working on. This here is a 1966 Chevelle with a small block Chevy and a nice big blower on it. So basically this car has been one of Mike's pride and joys for the past 13 years that he's been working on. We've been lucky to be a part of the project. It's been in here a couple times, doing tidbits here and there, and finally getting this thing up to where it needs to be. So this last go around, basically what we've done on this thing, we went through and readjusted the valves again. We've got the timing set, and we've also got the carburetors dialed in to where they're damn near perfect. This car is a very unique and pretty cool little project. Personally, I really enjoyed being a part of it and working on it. It was nice to come in and just be able to fire it up just to hear, old school small block Chevy. We also outfitted it's a turbo 350. We also outfitted it with a FTI converter to help out. With the original combination, it just wasn't working. You put it in gear and it would just want to die. So the stall wasn't large enough for the application. FTI hit it on the head perfect the first time. Put this thing in gear, it'll sit there and it goes when you want it to go. This car didn't have a transmission cooler, so we installed a transmission cooler. Went through and adjusted the valves, like I said, got the timing set, got the carburetor set. Along with that, we also basically finished up the interior for them. So the car had a gated shifter on it. Obviously it's a... All right, and lastly, now we get to start the car up. That's the best part about this whole job, is hearing these things run. On this car here, it came in basically an open header configuration. Very, very loud, not very drivable. It was actually, the exhaust was actually running open headers into the car. So we had to modify the floor pan a little bit. We made some adjustments with the transmission mount. I built a transmission mount basically to where the exhaust ran through the transmission mount and all the way to the back of the car. We went basically 3-inch all the way to the back, turned up the tunnel, because it's a full tub car, turned up the tunnel with some Dynamax bullet mufflers and some turn downs, put a little angle on them, little kicks for some style. So it would basically go out the back of the car and not blow any hot exhaust on the fuel system or the shocks or anything like that. So basically, carbureted car, give her a couple pumps on the carb. Here with S.O.B. Motorsports. Want to come at you. We're going to start a new YouTube channel starting this season with some of the projects we got going on, kind of keep you in the loop of what we're doing here at the shop. First thing we got going on here is Eric Lassiter's Rowdy Audi. He races SCCA, Rallycross, and a couple other time trial events. This car came to us basically in stock form as far as chassis upgrades go. It came in for some weight reduction and a couple other things. So basically we're going to go through and start talking about what all we've done to it. Alright, so another application we added to this car is a handbrake. We did a pass-through style master cylinder on the handbrake. Basically what that means is either your foot brake or your handbrake is going to operate either all the brakes, or the handbrake will operate just the rear brakes. Basically it allows for normal use. You know, on a typical application, your typical car, when you apply the brake on the floor, the brake pedal, that's going to stop the front wheels and the back wheels. Okay, so what we want to do here is we're trying to help with getting the car to rotate. At high rates of speed, it's hard to rotate a car by just turning the wheel. So a lot of times you can grab a brake, but just the rear brakes to help rotate the car. So that's why I put the handbrake on here. So as she pulls the handbrake back, that locks up just the rear calipers. So that's going to make the car want to rotate in either a left or right direction, depending on the way the wheel is turned at the time and the way the car is pitched. right, so lastly, and most importantly, is safety. This car came in with no roll cage. You know, it's racing at high rates of speed through woods, asphalt, dirt. So, you know, it's a very dangerous sport, very fun, but you always want to be safe. And tied in with the safety comes rigidity of the car. The more rigid a car is, the more reactive it is, the better it handles. So basically what we did is we went in the car and basically kind of found some points of area we could pull weight out, because we talked about weight reduction and free horsepower. So we came through in the back and we gutted the rear tray around the window. We took the thin sheet metal, I guess, framework they had for the strut bars and stuff like that, and eliminated that as well. But in return, we took and built some plates for the strut bars, and then built an actual strut bar to tie the rear in. Now off of that, we came off with some horizontal bars to go to our main hoop for basically our main cage. Now this car is not up to any kind of SCCA requirements just yet because of the class it's in. So this was more for rigidity and personal safety of the driver. So basically we came in with a main hoop, we welded 6x6 plates to the floor of the car, and then we basically built one single main hoop bar that goes all the way around the driver's, you know, compartment area and at the B pillars to help protect the driver. Hey guys, Zach Martin here at S.O.B Motorsports down here in Middle Georgia. So what we have here is a 2006 Jeep Wrangler a customer brought to us. Basically this had the motor and transmission sitting in it. The BCM was removed, the ECM, no harness, no anything. So basically our job was to just get this thing up and operational. It's basically kind of a trail rig. They wanted to obviously do the cool LS swap in it, so let's talk about a little bit about what we did. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Zach Martin here with S.O.B Motorsports. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the 76 Impala we're working on. So basically what we got going on here, we're putting a 2017 LT1 Chevrolet Camaro SS motor. It's got the 8090E transmission, LT1 engine. Basically you can kind of see where we're at right now. So what we've been working on lately is getting this northern radiator fitted to the car. It's a pretty good fit. We've got the cooling shroud, cooling fans on it. We built some brackets with some rubber isolators to keep everything nice and tight, vertical, and where we want it. A lot of the accessories on this car on the front of this are Corvette or F-body accessories, so it kind of makes it nice for a lot of things that we're doing. This is just a stock replacement Corvette hose, so if the customer ever has any issues with a coolant hose blowing or something like that in the near future, go down to the hardware store and get a stock replacement upper Corvette hose, and it's going to go right back in place. That's what we like about these like northern radiator kits. Basically, you know, they supply us a blank radiator with tanks to our dimensions, our specs, and then we get these parts here, you know, weld-in fittings, so we can put our coolant cap wherever we want, or our fill cap wherever we want to, petcock goes wherever we want to, and then we'll do the same thing with the upper and lower radiator hose. We'll put our fittings in this radiator wherever we need to put it to make it work best. Because we want to try to keep this car simple and functional and easy to work on, you know, we're going to utilize the Corvette hoses. So we'll put our fitting right here for the upper. We'll do our lower one. We'll go right down here for the lower radiator hose. So it's going to make this thing nice and easy to get parts for in the future if need be. Everything will just go right back and plug and play just like it was a factory car. What's going on, guys? Zach Martin here with S.O.B Motorsports. Today we're going to talk a little bit about our project S2000. So this car came to us pretty early last year. We've been working on it we worked on it for about a year for the entire project. It came to us a roller, so it had no engine, no transmission in it, and the customer's goals was a ProCharge or forced induction style LS3. So we worked with Bischoff Racing Engines out of St. Leon, Indiana. We basically started with a brand new LS3. So this has Callie's crank, Callie's rods, forged pistons, a lot of specialty parts, Brian Tooley Racing Stage 4 cam for PDS tile blower, trunnion upgrades. About wraps up the majority of the motor build. Designed to withstand and hold up to 1,000 horsepower under forced induction application. We wanted something reliable, consistent for that power level on E85. So that's what Bischoff Racing Engines built us. So next we kind of moved to the forced induction side of things. So we're with an ECS model 1500. So it's 1500 CFM blower. We had to basically fabricate the entire cold side. So coming out of the blower, we fabricated. Going into the throttle body, we fabricated. It's a Nick Williams 92mm throttle body. We've got a Treadstone intercooler rated for 1,300 horsepower. That's on E85. Like we said, we do have a flex fuel sensor on it, so the customer can run pump gas or E85. Running a Mighty Mouse catch can. Excess power's got our battery side for all electronics covered for any kind of starting issues, anything like that. This car is just super cool. Everything was fabbed up. It's on solid motor plates. We went through and cleaned the entire chassis and engine bay up, cleaned the firewall back. Did a lot of fab work inside of there to get everything smooth and cleaned up before we installed the engine. Ended up running CTSV style manifolds to clear. We extended the steering shaft a little around 8 to 12 inches. So the car has the factory power steering still. The Honda dash still functions 100%. So he still has his correct readings for his fuel level, speed, RPM, coolant temperature. Everything is just like this car had the original 4-cylinder engine in it, and that's what's super cool to us is we're able to integrate everything into this thing. Still has full AC. It's completely drivable. It's completely like it was if it would have came from the factory, and that's what we really strive to do with this build. It took us a while, but we wanted it to be 100% correct. Clutch has to be engaged to start. I mean, everything is still push button electric start. We extended the GM harness. It's actually located back in the trunk back there. I think we extended it, almost 4 feet. So everything's integrated and tied in to work, using some of the Dakota digital stuff and everything else. We have everything working like it should, which is super cool to us. We went with a Monster triple disc clutch with a 1,000 horsepower goal in mind. And it's got a T56 Magnum transmission. We've got a 2010 IRS rear end conversion done in it with drive shaft shop axles and drive shaft shop drive shaft. So this car front to back is really built to hold 1,000 horsepower. With that being said, we are on a 6-rib setup and it's a 1,500 CFM blower. So right now the car makes 712 to the tire. Super awesome. Very, very happy with the setup. Couldn't be happier. It's a 6-rib setup, so making 700 horsepower on a 6-rib setup, we're pretty happy with that. The customer does have desires to make more power later. Like we said, we're built for 1,000. He wants to get a little bit closer to that threshold. So with that being said, we're going to have to upgrade to an 8-rib setup. The 6-rib's not going to hold the power. We're going to go with a larger blower, and then we're also going to have to upgrade to cooling because we're about at the max of the engine cooling for this southern Georgia heat. So yeah, as you can see, kind of check it out and take a look and enjoy our S2000. going on, guys? Zach Martin here with S.O.B Built Motorsports down in the middle of Georgia. Today we're going to talk a little bit about a project we've been working on for a little while. This is our 70 Hellcat swapped CUDA. So start off with, can't take credit for for some of the work, the orange paint job and the CUDA cat paint on the side, stuff like that. We did not do that. This car was at another shop for quite a few years. Customer was not happy with the progress or where it was at the time, so we went and picked up the car and we completed the build process for the customer. So start with a few things that we did do. So we started out with basically taking and changing the hood color. The customer really likes satin black with the gloss black accents, so we did the hood paint job. We did the mirrors. We added the CUDA rear wing, painted it. We did the lower trim piece, painted it. And then the wheels were already on the car. The customer wanted those powder coated black, so we powder coated those. That stuff is done in house. A lot of the grill trim piece. We did the flush mount buttons on the hood to try to get a little bit cleaner look. So cosmetic wise, exterior wise, that was pretty much the extent of what was done. Went through and tinted the windows, so it's got a nice ceramic window tint on there. With the help of Tint Pros out of here, middle Georgia. And then that's pretty much it for the aesthetic side of things. Put the billet antenna on there, got that hooked up and fixed, and that covers the aesthetic side of things. All right, so this is a 15 model Hellcat crate engine with a Kenny Bell 2.8. We did not spec the combo for the engine nor transmission, otherwise we would have went with a much larger blower for this application. It's got a 4L60 GM Performance 4L60 transmission behind it, so our part in this operation, fixing some oil leaks, and then the transmission tuning and the engine tuning, working with Vega Tuned and Hemi Fever, all here in house. So that's pretty much our part of what was done on the inside. Engine wise, the fuel system that was in the build originally was not satisfying the needs of fuel for the car. It was a single pump setup, so we went through and changed the entire fuel system. We went to an Aeromotive Stealth in-tank dual pump setup. It's capable of supporting over 1,000 horsepower on pump gas with a blower setup. So we have some room to grow if the customer ever decides to move in that direction. So that pretty much kind of covers our power plant.